Good morning. How are we all doing? It's the comeback. It's the update that no one asked for. Well, actually, yeah, people did ask for, which I'm surprised by, because I started the YouTube and then I never continued with it. And you're probably thinking, what happened? Why? Oh, you know why? I knew the simple reason was I just didn't like it. I just didn't enjoy doing it. I made the first video, that was amazing. It done well. People were like, oh, this is awesome, I can't wait. But after that, I tried, and the love just wasn't there. The love that I need to put time into something, especially with something I'm not very good at. And I know you got to do things sometimes you're uncomfortable doing, but it just didn't work. It just didn't work. So I tried, didn't work, and I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna stop. So I've just come back with a different mentality now of not trying to create anything, just be a bit more raw with what I do. Not Sam Sulek vibes, nothing like that. Just a bit more raw, because people tend to like when I talk a lot more than anything. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other footage and training and all things like that. But today is just going to be an update. It's going to be a raw update. It's going to be me essentially, what I decided to do. Set my camera up. It is going to follow me now and again, because I will pick it up. It's not a gimbal, but it's the morning time right now. If you can tell by my voice, I've just woken up. I've been ill for the last 8 days now. My voice is still, and my throat is still not good, so it might sound a bit weird. But I thought, raw update. Why don't I just update people with where I'm at, what's going on, what I'm doing next, all these things whilst I do my normal morning shift, which you'll see is pretty basic. Before I get into work, before I get back to clients, I have a little morning routine that it's no, bucket in the water, cold water showers, nothing like that. It's just me getting my day ready, essentially, right? And one of my routines, I don't know if you can see there, pots and pans and dishes, is emptying the dishwasher and filling the dishwasher. And it's something I enjoy doing. It's something I like to do in my house, because it starts the day with a little win. I've already made my bed, you can see, done my hair, put my hair mask in my hair. So just starting with small little wins, right? So that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna set the camera up somewhere, and then I'm gonna keep talking, updating. Hopefully you can hear me, I haven't got one of those mics. And we'll go from there. We'll carry you. So step number one for the day was weigh in, okay? And if you do not know, obviously I've gone assisted over the last 22 weeks, as of 22 weeks, and we've just pretty much wrapped up the first part of my off season. We put on about 11 kilos in 22 weeks assisted, which you're probably thinking that's not a lot, but it was a quality 11 kilos. So as of Monday, it's, July the 11th today. This is hard. As of Monday the 14th, I start my mini cut. It's a 4-week mini cut, 4 to 5 week mini cut before I go on holiday. And then I come back and I continue in mini cutting for 2 to 3 more weeks, because I've got something planned in September that hasn't been announced yet. Some people know, some people don't. But it's time for a tidy up anyway. My body comp is honestly still very good. It's the best 98 kilos that I've ever been, If I am intelligent enough, I'll pop up a photo here somewhere. This is gonna look so dumb if I can't do this, because I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, look at this photo. I'll pop up a photo of the last time I was 98 kilos, which was when I started prep last year, to this year. So mini cut starts Monday. Again, 4 to 5 weeks before I go on holiday. So it is going to be more aggressive, I guess. I'm excited to see how my body responds to losing fat, because last year we lost like 6 kilos in the first 6 weeks. Obviously this time being enhanced and being in a better position overall, I expect to see a similar drop maybe. All depends obviously on what Tim decides to do with food and cardio and anything else. But in terms of assistance, I don't like discussing. I don't like discussing my dosages. Don't like discussing my dosages. But let's just say we're dropping to a cruise. and I'm going on a cruise, which is funny. But yeah, back down to a cruise as of, we'll call it a cruise, it's TRT, okay? As of next week, and the diet starts. So we'll carry you guys for a second as I get my stuff ready, okay? So you'll see how I operate in the morning. First of all, it's pretty warm right now, and again, I said my throat's hurting quite a lot. So what I do, 2 cold waters in the fridge, okay? And they are going in my drinks to start my day. In my, you know, my usual supplements and things like that. So that's step number 1, get them out the fridge. Step number 2, which might make some noise, so maybe I'll fill it, is the kettle, right? Is fill the kettle, which is gonna be hard to do, like this. Here we go. Kettle's filled. We won't put that on yet because you won't be able to hear me, but here we go. So in terms of where I'm at, okay, where I am right now, since I posted that video, I don't even know what I was doing there and then. Sorry, as I get my supplements out of the cupboard because I don't know what I need. I can't remember what I was doing. I can't remember when I posted it. I can't remember if I was assisted yet. I can't remember if I was, how long I'd been. But anyway, update to now. I started this assisted journey 22 weeks ago. 22 weeks ago, I started this assisted journey, and as of Monday, or as of this week now, we're wrapping up the first part of the off season, we can call it. Okay, it's been over. You know, I've been post show. We call it post show. I competed November 30th last year. So what's that? That's like 8 months ago. Okay, in the last 8 months, I've spent 22 of those weeks in those 8 months, which is I think about 4 or 5 months assisted. And since the show, I'm only up 19 kilos, right? So as you can see, even with assistance, and even it being 8 months since I competed, I haven't got stupid heavy. There was no need. There was ever no need, okay? And that is something that me and Coach T-Dog, Coach Tim, were very much aware of when I decided to go assisted, that I was not gonna push my body weight up for the sake of it. If I was gonna push, it was gonna be, can we do this? Can we do this? Yeah, if I was gonna do this, it was gonna be sensible. So yeah, I was 97.6 kilos this morning, 97.6. And this is gonna be a longer video, isn't it? 97.6 kilos this morning. I start the mini cut on Monday. That mini cut is going to be at least 6 weeks long, but there's going to be a 2 week break in the middle because I'm going on holiday, right? So it's starting Monday. It's about 4 weeks until I go away, I think, or just over 4 weeks until I go away, and just over 4 weeks until I go away, and we're going to be pretty aggressive with it, I guess. We kind of want to see what I look like around that 90-ish kilo mark, which is like 7-8 kilos off where I'm at currently, which shouldn't be too hard. I started prep with the exact same body weight last year, and I was fat, right? I was fat, I was chubby, and in the first 4 to 5 weeks, I think we pulled like 6 kilos off, and I looked pretty ridiculous, honestly. Even I was a bit like, holy shit, I look good at 92 kilos natural, okay? So I'm excited to see what I look like this time at the same body weight, obviously being assisted, and we're going to start to make my morning shake. First of all, H2 Turbo, is it called H2 Turbo by Engineered Muscle, and I don't have a scoop. Frick! Yeah, H2 Turbo, this, actually trying this, I am, you know, I do like my my hydration formulas, my hydration drinks. I'm someone who sweats quite a lot. I sweat quite a little bit in the night. I've always have, so I like to stay hydrated. When it's warm, it's good to stay hydrated. I would say it tastes good, but this tastes horrendous. It's not made for taste, okay? So most of the Engineered Muscle products are not made for taste. How many grams? 7. They're not made for taste, which I very much am a fan of, because if you know me and you know anything about me, you know that I'm not very big on sweeteners. I don't like to use a lot of sweeteners. I like to use them in moderation. I believe the majority of people use them in excess. I need that scoop. They use them in excess, okay? Everything you probably use has got sweeteners in it, your pre-workouts, your pumps, your focus, your intra-workout carbs, your intra-workout EAAs, your intra-workout hydration. Everything people use nowadays is just heavily sweetened. And I don't think it's a coincidence that most people have some kind of digestive issues. So, something I avoid is just overconsumption of them. So, obviously, when I saw the panel that they had, which is absolutely incredible, which I would show you, but it won't focus. And then I saw that the majority of their products are unflavored. I started looking into them a bit more. My head's cut off there. Yeah, I started looking into them a bit more. It doesn't taste great. That's why I mix it with glutathione. Glutathione, this is the best tasting product in the world. Even if you need it or not, it's fucking amazing. Give it a go. So that's my hydration formula, part 1. Okay, so nothing else goes in that for now. We're going to give that a shake, and then we're going to put the rest of the bottle in. Tip for you: if you want your shit to mix properly, don't fill it up first and then mix it. Put a little bit of water in, then shake it, get it all diluted and shit, and then add the second bottle. Yeah. Okay, so carrying on with the update. So yeah, Monday diet starts. I go away in 4 weeks. I'm away for 12 nights. I'm going on a cruise around Spain, Portugal, Canary Islands. I'm going with the lovely darling girlfriend who, you know, I've been wanting to go on a cruise myself for a very long time. She's also agreed to come with me, which is amazing. So the cruise is booked for August 9th, which I cannot bloody wait for. I don't wish time away. I've got a lot of events coming up before we go away. Which is amazing. I've got events to go to in, I've got a show to go to in Coventry, PCA Coventry on the 20th of July. This weekend, tomorrow, going to a Stereophonics concert with my girlfriend again and my family. Sunday, nothing, and then Monday we start the diet. So yeah, we're going away. I'm away for 12 nights, come back. Diet continues, okay, the diet continues when I come back, so I'm not going to be a dickhead when I'm away. I'm going to enjoy myself, right? I'm just going to enjoy myself, but at the same time, I'm going to be very mindful. There's a gym on the ship, on the cruise ship. I'm going to be doing a lot of steps, I know that for sure. I'm still going to do my cardio, all these things, but also being able to enjoy myself on the side. So I'll document that as well to show you how you can still enjoy yourself and make progress, but those 2 weeks, I'm not really seeing them as fat loss, right? If I put on a little bit of weight, it's sound. If I lose weight, awesome. If I stay the same, awesome. It doesn't matter. The most important part of those 12 days is for Casey to have a good time with Ellie. Simple. Create memories, they're going to last a lifetime, okay? Moving on to the second part of my morning shit is Systol, right? Systol Max, we all know it, we all love it. Great product for your blood pressure. And so yeah, where am I at in terms of everything else? So food isn't very high, honestly. Food isn't high. I have, and I'm not just saying this right to be like, oh, I've taken care of my digestion and I'm awesome and I'm hungry. I've been hungry since I stepped off stage, and I'm not exaggerating, right? And everyone can attest to this, but I don't know what it is. It's something I've suffered with in the past, is actually being able to eat my food, but this time around it's been the complete opposite. I've been hungry all the time, and my meals are never an issue to get in. I haven't missed a meal. I haven't ate a meal and gone, oh, I'm full. Never, right? And this is 6 months into an off season, so again, it's just all been down to I've always been someone who's reacted well to not eating a lot anyway. I don't need to eat a lot of food to grow. My body weight goes up naturally with eating a little bit of food. It doesn't need a lot. So, also, Lipid Max has just gone in this shake. And then 15 grams of glutamine is going in there now, which I need to open. Shout out Subshack for the monthly order, by the way. So, yeah. Code Jack10 if you want to get on your stuff. Leave a link in the bio. So yeah, never needed to push food that high. I've ate every single meal and been hungry after it, and I haven't suffered at all. Okay, so it's the typical story of eating to your needs, not your wants. And with that, my digestion has remained just intact. My ability to pull vacuums, my ability to control my waist, my ability to just, or how small my waist looks in comparison to the rest of me, being 98 kilos, you know, which for me, again, that's where I started my off season last year. That's where I started prep last year. So it's a big difference, and I am really happy about it. I'm really looking forward to dieting. I won't lie, I'm looking forward to just a little bit of a different goal for a little bit, you know, because we like those goals as bodybuilders, right? Having long-term goals, which I do, are amazing, but I do function well, or function better having very short-term goals. So this little mini cat is going to do me wonders, and I'm looking forward to it. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not looking forward to being hungry, because I know I'm going to be hungry straight away. Last year on prep, I wasn't hungry at all, and then the whole off season I was starving. So it's a very weird one. Okay, it's a very weird one. I don't. You know, I have an idea as to why. Obviously I've kept everything intact, and when you're so driven by the end goal in a prep, hunger doesn't really even cross your mind, in my personal experience. And then this off season, I don't know where the hunger's just come from all the time. So yeah, I'm not complaining. We're gonna take a sip of this. It tastes like ass still, but yeah. So that's kettle's going on. That's part one of the update, or part two, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna make this short because the battery's gonna die and I have to charge it for a little bit. So this video is gonna be kind of cut up throughout the day. As you can see, I'll be probably changing clothes and looking different. I would have gone to the gym and back and all that good stuff. So what else is to say? Diet starts Monday. Food right now is about 3,500 calories on training days, okay? Nothing excessive. My off plans have been macro tracked for the last 10 weeks. We had blood results back 12, 13 weeks ago that some of the results might have suggested that I had a very slight form of an intolerance to gluten and dairy. So we've cut gluten and dairy out of my diet completely over those last 12 weeks, and it's done absolute wonders for me. That's why my midsection stayed, again, I think that's why my midsection stayed as small as it has. It hasn't retained as much water as it usually has, and I think that's just from eliminating those anti-inflammatory foods, okay? It's done wonders for me. I believe that the majority of people are probably somewhat just intolerant to these foods. I'm trying to find a place to put this camera down. I can't hold it, it weighs too much. Yeah, so I'm probably intolerant to these foods, but they don't know it. Anyway, I cut mine out. I wasn't having a lot. I reduced the amount of whey I have. The whey protein now has been switched to higher quality protein, so I use like Cytec protein or IsoSurge protein. I still use Perform because Perform tastes amazing, but whereas before I was having it like 3 times a day, now I have it once, and that once is 30 grams. Okay, so a tub of Perform lasts me a lot longer, which is awesome. I also use vegan whey. I've always used vegan whey. It's something that is being good for my skin. It's, again, reducing dairy. It's great, tastes good. I like using it. I wouldn't only use vegan whey, but I use it in conjunction with everything else, alongside, you know, meats and proteins. Dairy, I was having yogurt every single day. That's been gone, and again, the reduction in whey protein as well has been a big one. And it's the best I've felt, and I don't think it's a coincidence. In terms of gluten, the only gluten I really was having was in sourdough bread, which I've got rid of that, and in my oats. My oats, I know oats are theoretically gluten-free, right? But we know that they get cross-contaminated when they are fabricated and packaged and all that stuff. So we reduced the amount of oats, well, I reduced the amount of oats I was having. Tim kept them in, but I was like, look, I'm going to reduce it anyway. So what I do is, I'm supposed to have 125 grams of oats in the night. I just do half and half with cream rice. So I just split it, make it the same as cream rice. Before someone goes, how the fuck do you make it, mate? As the same way you make your oats, okay? instead of putting 120 grams of oats, you just do 60 oats, 60 cream of rice. Make it the exact same. Wow, mind blown. Fucking hell. Anyway, so my diet is stupid simple, honestly. It's chicken, it's whey protein, and that's the only protein I have, literally chicken and whey protein. And then on rest days, I have eggs. That's it. In terms of carbs, it's a form of rice, so either cream rice, rice pudding, jasmine rice, the best rice, or sushi rice, and then white potato. White potato being my favorite carb source, and then obviously a bit of oats. And then for fats, olive oils, almond butter, dark chocolate, avocado, eggs on rest days, avocado on rest days, and that's it, I believe. And then lots of fruit and veg. I love fruit and veg. Fruit and veg has become like literally my identity. Every single day I go to the shop to buy different veg. I just fucking love it. I know what veg works for me. I avoid the veg that doesn't work for me. Digestion is number one. So, if you want to be able to do that, just eat the food that sits well in your gut, okay? It's very simple. Just don't, oh, well, I need FODMAPs and no, just fucking put the food in your mouth, right? And then if it gives a boo-boo in the belly, don't eat it. If it doesn't, you're good, okay? So that's the update. Rest day calories are, I think they're like 3,300. The only difference on rest days is my meal one is just pro fats. And my fats are pretty high on rest days. I think my fats are like 93 grams on rest days. And that's just to support like heart function and things like that. Again, based off blood results, we altered my diet on rest days. Carbs are not that high, they're like 380. Protein's not that high either. It's like 240, and I'm sure that will come down. I am a bigger proponent of higher protein diets myself, but also with having like high blood pressure and being wary of my kidneys, I like to keep it on the lower end, and it's something Tim likes to do as well, which is, you know, why we gel. You know, we're always on track, me and Big T. So yeah, that's the update, part 3. So as you can see, we're back from the gym. Train a bit of pull today. Pull with a touch of hamstrings. So that's what I was going to touch on actually, is the training aspect of things has changed a little bit as well. Obviously I do my own training. Tim overlooks it, oversees it a little bit, gives his input. So in terms of training right now, it's a pretty basic approach. So posterior Monday, with mainly focused on glutes and hams, and then a little bit of a back touch up, or a little bit of back. Tuesdays are quads on their own. So I started training quads without hamstrings, which is, I don't do hardly anything for quads. So it's quads with arms actually, so appendage day as they call it. Wednesday's rest day, and then Thursday, which is meant to be today's session, but I had to flip-flop them this week just because I'm away on Friday. No, it's not Friday, I'm away Saturday, so I can't train this weekend, so I had to flip-flop it. So Thursday is pull with a little bit of hamstrings and a little bit of biceps. Friday, push, just a normal push day. I'm just watching the tennis. I'm watching the tennis and I've just got interrupted. ADHD brain going off. But yeah, so Thursday is mainly back with a little bit of hamstrings and a little bit of biceps. Then we've got Friday, just normal push day. Chest, shoulders, triceps. Actually, no, I don't. I do shoulders with pull. So just chest and triceps on the Friday. And I was doing one quad movement on that day, just a single leg hamstring. Fuck me, single leg quad extension on that day, followed by another pull day on Saturday. But that pull day is actually biceps, hamstrings, and then back. So essentially what I do 3 pull days, and each one I prioritize the other muscle. So Monday I prioritize hamstrings, and then I do a little bit of back. On Thursdays, I prioritize back, and I do a little bit of hamstrings and biceps. And then on Saturdays, I prioritize biceps, then hamstrings, and then back. Okay, so they're the 3 areas I need to bring up the most. And the frequency in which I can train them, the higher frequency, the better. It works for me. It's worked wonders. My back's responding extremely well to it. And I'm kind of wanting to do the same thing for my biceps now. So yeah, so just a bit of pull and hamstrings today. Nothing crazy. That's the beauty of training with a bit of higher frequency. That like, although I like to train to failure, or as close proximity failure as possible. That's one thing I have been mindful of this time around, is not killing myself absolutely every session, because I always like to leave this a little bit in the tank, a little bit on the board, as they say, just to ensure that every single week I'm still I'm able to progress. Whereas before, burying myself every single session, the following week to try to improve and progress those numbers each week was so much harder. So now what I do, it's not a reps in reserve approach, but I know that rep that I might have to fight a little bit too much for, I just don't do it. Okay, I don't like using the whole reps in reserve, because sometimes that can get misconstrued, and then people misunderstood, we'll just go for that. And then some people think you don't train hard enough, or you give that to people and they think, oh, I just got to do reps in reserve, I don't need to train hard. It's never the case, okay? So I like to just leave that little bit in the tank to just make sure that I can continue to progress, right? I'd rather progress like steadily over and linearly over the board for week after week, as opposed to having these massive spikes in strength, massive spikes in reps, and then needing to maintain that, which can always be harder. And then my CNS gets fried, and when my CNS is fried, I can't progress, and then I need time away from the gym. And I've learned that. So instead of being, again, 95, 100% in the gym all the time, if I can be at 80, 88, 90 and continue to progress, I can push longer. I don't need to deload. Like, I haven't deloaded now in, I think, fuck me, I don't even know when the last time I deloaded, which for me is the longest time I've gone without a deload. Usually every 10 weeks I'm done. Usually, so it's just a slight little different change of approach, and I feel like I'm recovering well. I'm able to train with higher frequency. I'm connecting extremely well with the muscle parts, and that's the other thing, you know, as training age goes on and evolves, my ability to connect with the muscle is so much higher, and the amount of stimulus I'm able to create in that muscle compared to before, whereas before I'd maybe have to do more sets. Now with 2 sets, I can't, I'm done. That's it. That's all I need is 2 sets, right? And I'm a big fan of increasing volume across the board as weeks go on, right? And the more I can recover from, the better, the more I can do. Absolutely superb. But one thing I found this time around is, even when I've been able to recover, that extra set, it's just not worth doing. It's just not worth doing. So my volume hasn't increased or changed that much the whole entirety of the off season. My strength has, but again, I've always left a little bit in the tank. Although strength is increasing, and it was increasing quite rapidly, I didn't milk it. I just made sure that I was just continuing to progress. If one week I was, for example, I was doing an incline press, and the previous week I'd done an X amount of weight for 9 reps, and then I get to 9, you know, I do the exact same lift the following week, and I'm on 9 reps, and I'm like, holy shit, I've got about 3 more reps here. I'll just do 2. I'll leave 1. So the next week, then maybe I can add 1 on again. You know, just getting the most out of the least. Always just trying to get the most out of the least, and my body's thanking me for it. You know, I feel like the progress speaks for itself in that aspect of things. Okay, we're back again. It's actually 3 days later now, I believe. I recorded that last clip on Friday, and it is currently Tuesday, so 3 days later, but I wasn't able to record over the weekend. I took the weekend off a little bit just before I started this mini cut, which obviously we've started now. We started yesterday for the first day, but yeah, took the weekend off. Went to a concert on the Saturday with my family. Went to watch the Stereophonics. Went out for the day, had some drinks. The first time I've drank like an actual drink, and had multiple drinks in close to 3 years. And I've realized 2 things. 1, it's not for me anymore. And 2, it's definitely not for me when you're surrounded by a lot drunker people in confined spaces when it's 34 degrees outside. Didn't make me feel my best, but the concert was great. I had a great time with my family, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world. Sunday, chilled, and then yesterday, first day on the new plan on the diet. So there's been a few changes. Obviously, mini cut started. Like I said in the last few clips, calories were at about 3,600 and about 3,400 respectively on training days and non-training days, and now that has dropped to around 3,000 on training days and around 2,680 or 2,700 on rest days. So yeah, the mini cut started. Cardio is at 100 minutes per week, and steps 12,500. So as we discussed, we have, as I'm making a meal right now, as we discussed, so we are going to run this for a few weeks. As I get my rice out of the microwave, the beautiful rice, we're going to run this for a few weeks. Obviously I got a cruise planned in the beginning of August, which is what this mini cut is kind of for. Plus I've got something else planned in September which hasn't been revealed just yet. So it's going to be about 4 weeks to see as much weight, to see how much weight we can get off, to see what position I can be in. But I think it's going to be pretty good. I think my body's going to respond pretty well to it, which I'm excited for. So drugs, if you are wondering, they have come down a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. They've come down, and that's it. We've reduced the dose. And the other few things that are lined up, there are a few things that I got lined up now, in terms of posing, in terms of coaching, in terms of my own clients, in terms of just other things behind the scenes that again haven't just been revealed just yet, which I like not to speak about things until they're actually done. You know, I'm not one of those people that would be like, I'm starting this, I'm starting that, and then not follow through with it. I think they call that mental masturbation, which, you know, you speak about things you're going to do and then never actually follow through with them. It's like a mental masturbation, right? You get relief from telling people you're going to do things and then being excited about it and being like, oh, that's amazing, man, that's amazing, and never following through with it. So yeah, don't try to avoid that. As my rice and chicken is done, post-workout meal. So yeah, a few other cool things. Obviously started the podcast with Tim, and I feel like that's going to be a big success. There's already questions about when's the next one, or sorry, when's the first episode dropping, but we're already lining up the second one. We've already got a few guests in mind that we want to have on, and it's going to be, I know everyone says it, but it's going to be a bit more different podcast than the usual, right? It's going to be informative. There's going to be a lot of talk about experience, you know, which is, I think that's one thing that lacks a lot when people talk about experiences through bodybuilding. Obviously you've got my perspective as the bodybuilder, you got the perspective of a coach through Tim, plus you've got two guys who have become great friends through bodybuilding, you know, which is also again something that lacks a lot. You know, I feel like friendships are no longer built through bodybuilding, and maybe even less through coaching and coaching athlete. You know, and that's something I need as an athlete. I need to build a relationship with my coach, and it's something I need as a coach. I like to build relationships with my athletes, right? I'm not just here to tell you what to do. I'm here to invest in you. I'm fully invested in you, your dreams, your hopes, your goals, and it's the vice versa with what I look for in a coach. Obviously, you know, and that's why me and Tim work so well together. So it was about time that we done something together, and it's not going to be the last thing we do together, that's for sure. But it was about time. There's lots of interest in it already, and you know, like we said on the podcast, it's not just, you know, ask the typical bodybuilding questions. You know, what's the best split? What's the best rep range? And what should I take? And how much should I take? You know, there's two guys who also have a lot of interest in other things in the world and also have opinions on things, which a lot of bodybuilding is just opinion based, right? It's not just do this and you're gonna do this or you'll get this. It's always a lot of opinions and trials and errors. So hopefully people enjoy that, which I really think they will. And obviously I'm gonna try to keep this up as well, right? It is gonna be a lot more just raw, just me putting the camera down, me talking to it. I feel like that's what people enjoy more. This one is just more like of a reintroduction again, and just, you know, a small update as to where I'm at. And now going forward, they are going to be more frequent. The rawer, I guess, the more raw I can keep these, and the more like I can pump them out. I feel like that is something people interact with a lot as well. And they are going to be longer length videos, right? I'm not trying to look for the perfect length. I'm not trying to break algorithms, and I'm just trying to put content out there for people to consume, people to interact with, people to tell me what they want to see, people to get to know me more, people to listen to me. You know, the more I talk and the more I put my opinions out there, people seem to resonate with them, and people want to interact with me and ask for my opinions on certain things. And you know, I get people ask me what I think about this in bodybuilding, how should I do this pose, and I get people reach out to me, how should I deal with the breakup, you know, and it's pretty wild to think. But I'm here for it, man. You know, I'm here to show my I don't know, I'm here to give people my time, you know, I'm here to give my time, and I know my time is appreciated by a lot of people. So if someone appreciates my time, appreciates my input, my words, my encouragement, my energy, then I'm willing to give it to them. You know, it's not always about making money, it's not always about trying to get clients, it's not always trying to get, you know, the next big thing. It's like I believe one of my duties as a bodybuilder, as a coach, as a posing coach, as a man, is just to uplift bodybuilding more and more and more, you know, and it's just like there's so many egotistical maniacs in this game, and so many people that want you to see what they're doing, you know, and it's, look what I'm doing, I'm working hard, look, I've got 27 check-ins to do, which is amazing, hats off to them. But it's not always the case, you know. There's people that start with 3 clients and that's okay. There's people that have 30 and that's okay. There's people that have got 120 and they don't have enough. They don't, you know, they're not fulfilled. So it's cool to see the different side of the coin sometimes, you know. And some people like myself who don't chase money. I don't. Money's great. I've had fuck all of it and I've had lots of it, and my happiness never changed. It was the impact I had on people in between those ranges that made me the happiest. You know, when I'm getting messages off people telling me I've changed their life, you know, which is, you do, that's what you do, that's the aim, is to do that. And when I get those messages off people that I coach, it's one of the most fulfilling and satisfaction that you'll ever get as a human being. But I also get that through people I've never talked to, you know, who've just followed my journey and they're like, I look up to you. And that's the goal, right? That is the goal, is to be me, help people. If they, you know, if they're a client of mine, and help them all the way. But even if they're not, if someone just reaches out and wants a conversation, I'm always here for that, right? It's my duty to continue to uplift this game, uplift bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding, you know, even though I've crossed that bridge and now I started there. I love that game. I have clients that are going to compete in that. That's where you should start, you know, and I want to continue to elevate that as well. And not just be about me, you know. I don't like that stuff. I don't like the spotlight being on me. I like to uplift people and bring people with me, because if you ain't doing this for, you know, if you're doing this and you want to do it on your own and I want to have a lonely ride, it's going to be exactly that, man. It's going to be a lonely ride and it's not going to be that enjoyed. So I'm going to leave this here. My post-workout meal is going to be some chicken and rice. Mind-blowing, I know. And I think I'm going to bring a full day of eating to this next, which is going to be very simple, you know, very simple, full day of eating. I'll show you what I eat, I'll show you my supplements, I'll show you the veg I eat, I'll show you why I eat things, because people are interested in that as well, and people like to know about food. But just to let you know, my diet is pretty basic, as it should be, you know. Does it sit well in your stomach? Yes. Cool, we're good. But yeah, much love, my people. Hopefully, whoa, upside down. Hopefully, yeah, I'm not a DJI guy just yet, right? So I'm on the old Canon. So yeah, hopefully, whoa, I'm breaking my camera. Hopefully, I'll see you all soon. Hopefully this video makes it out very soon. And I'm just gonna chuck it all together. Raw is best, baby. Peace out.